Greetings, Vault citizens. Johnny5 Alive, your Vault Overseer here, and welcome to another Fallout 4 video. And in today's video, we're going to be going over my mod list as requested by some of you in the comments. So stay tuned and let's check it out. Alright guys, I don't really know how to present this video. It's not going to be the most visually stimulating, my apologies. It is what it is, but you guys get to see the mod list here. If you want to take a closer look and pause it or whatever, you can do so right here. You know, some of the mods kind of get named slightly differently, but if you type it into Google, whatever you see here, you should be able to find it. I'm not going to go through every single one of these mods. There's like 114 of them or something. We're just gonna kind of briefly skim through it, give you guys like the what and the why and anything else I could think of. So let's dive right on into it, starting with my armor and clothing. I have 2-pack CBB Skimpy armor and clothing, and now with all my clothing mods I kind of have a combination of that one, armor and clothing replacer, body slide patch files, and Ellie's armor compendium, as well as female outfit replacer, flat feet. I think it might just be called female outfit replacer. That might actually be it. All these combinations of even lacy underwear, it's so I don't get the nude bodies with the CBB mod. It gives me proper underwear, and it was just one that I thought looked the best, and I used the black version. I started with the white, but it was just way too bright. And then I have like Nuka gear. I got one for Piper and Yennefer. Some of these I just downloaded it because they needed to be added with the compendium for certain mods that I got that change your NPCs. So some of them I got for different compatibility reasons that go well with other mods, and so when I actually go to build my outfits, so I'm going to assume you guys know how to use body slide, and if you don't, I highly recommend you go check out Gopher's video. He does a whole breakdown on how body slide works. The only thing he didn't cover in that video is I think like batch building with replacements. Like I have all these different mod Lazy Man's DC outfits, and you know, some of them I don't like the way they look, and some of them I like the way they look, and then there's some of them I use for other mods. So there's a mixture between Lazy Man's and another one which is the 2-pack, kind of slightly changes some of the gear. Some of them will replace each other, so you have to pick which ones you prefer. You can actually go into this list and just delete the ones you don't want, and then you don't have to worry about that. And when you build, you batch build all of them, and it'll build all these clothings into your game. So I've kind of like gone through all the different outfits because there are some that are super swanky and super slutty and super immersion breaking, and I've removed all those from the game, and I try to get some from other mods like the armor compendium and different things. Clothing, it should be slutty. I've made it extra slutty. And then I have armor that should be more immersion and lore friendly. I've kept that in the game. So I've gone through, when I batch built everything, I handpicked all the ones that I wanted to keep and the ones that I didn't, and that sort of thing. So those are my armor mods. Can't really think of like some of them, like the mashup, the mini dresses, all this different stuff. It's part of the Better Settlers mod, which we'll see down below, but it basically generates all these random settlers in the game, and it puts this kind of clothing on them. So I had to download all these other mods just to make my wasteland more immersive. Now, one thing I talked about in a previous video, somebody said they were really interested in is body slide. I got all the bodies to randomly generate properly, and I'm going to do a separate tutorial for that, and you know, that goes really well with these outfit packs and all that stuff. So there's not a whole lot in here that I'm doing to the armor and stuff, just your basics. Even though this looks like a lot, it's basically comes down to 2-packs, the outfit replacer, and then some like Commonwealth mashups and stuff like that. Some of this stuff can only be crafted at a shop. It's not random. These are my actual replacers. So I use some replacers, you know, True Reporter. It's very basic, and then the rest is all CBB vanilla. So the CBB pack does change the way the armor fits because the bodies themselves change. So it comes with a whole rehaul. So I'm just kind of picking and choosing certain ones that I want to change. All right, so let's go into character tweaks. I have all these different hairstyles, appealing moles, beautiful female enemies. This stuff is just part of more mods. Like better settlers and things like that throughout the wasteland. Body slide, that's what you need for CBBE, and there's CBBE there, so that changes your body. Commonwealth cuts, this just adds some pretty gnarly hairs to the game. I did this for an NPC mod that changes some of the core characters in the game, and we'll see that down below. I needed deluxe makeup and freckles, all this stuff that is basically for another mod, and these were required mods. So when you are downloading mods, it'll say, you know, like requires this, and that. I just downloaded them all and put them in. Lots more facial hair, lots more female hair, male hairs. Meet the Raiderettes. This makes the Raiders look better. Miscellaneous hairstyles, some ponytails, and unlock all hairstyles at the start of the game. So pretty much your standard stuff and most popular downloads for character changes. Going into companion stuff, I have the amazing follower tweaks. I highly recommend this mod. It's going to be one of my favorite mods that I use in actually playing the game. You can actually use this to bring up the character editor screen that you use at the very beginning of the game, and you can edit the way your companions look. That is amazing because a lot of people just download these mods that change the way the companions look, and I never, none of them are going to be the way that I want my companions to be. So I like this. It's really cool. It also allows you to have up to 5 followers at the same time. I'm not going to do that, but it is cool. Like if you're playing like very hard difficulties and you kind of want some help, you can have dog meat, a ranger, like a sniper. You can have a melee character tanking for you. That's actually kind of cool. I might try it out just for the sake of it, but if it becomes too easy, I'll definitely just resort to a companion and dog meat. I like that. And I've never done that. I always played the game with just one companion. I've never played with dog meat by my side, so having at least dog meat and a companion will be cool. Move, get out of the way, just a great mod. Pushes people out of the way when you sprint. It's great when someone's standing in a doorway. No negative affinity. I'm doing this for this playthrough because it took forever for me to level up my companions, and now I just want to make sure that they like anything I do and they just level up, because I remember I ran around with like Strong by my side for like freaking 5 hours doing things just to get them to like me. And you get a perk when they level all the way up. Another thing with Amazing Follow tweaks is they actually level up and get perks, so it's another cool thing that goes with that. Tina DeLusa voice and settler dependency revisited. So this is a mod that adds a voice to her. She's one of the fake companions that you get in the game, a settler companion, I should say. It's kind of cool, and it also makes it so you can't screw up the quest if you're unaware of that. Just a nice little bonus. And then the big one here is the Wasteland Heroines Replacer. This changes a lot of the characters in the game and uses a lot of that beauty and deluxe makeup and freckles and all that crap that I showed you guys. All that stuff is because I got this. And the reason I got this was it goes really well with what I did with Body Slide. Every single one of these characters has an ID, so what I did with my Body Slide mod is I put the generator to give them all a specific body. So maybe I wanted Kate to be kind of skinny, and Curie to be kind of busty, and maybe Piper to be kind of chubby. Maybe I wanted Magnolia to have like ridiculously large breasts or something. I think that's very suitable for her. I think I wanted to make Glory very strong, a very super imposing woman, and Kasumi super tiny and petite, and all that stuff. So I downloaded these and made my body gen give them all specific body types, and I will cover those codes in my body gen tutorial. So I like having some better looking NPCs in the game, and that also goes well with some of the better NPCs mods that I have, but this will definitely overwrite them. And for me, on a third playthrough, it's nice just to see some of the main heroes in the game look different and more memorable. Game changes, achievements, that enables your achievements. I haven't gotten some of the achievements for the DLCs, and I want to be able to do that with mods in the game. This will re-enable them. Armor and Keywords Community Resource. This is huge, and it's going to pair with your Def UI as well as your Vaticles item sorting. They all go hand in hand. So this gives you better icons. So guns have gun icons, and bats have bat icons, and ammo have ammo icons, and you mix that with Def UI as well as the Community Resource, which basically adds sorting to stuff. And now that all comes together and gives you an amazing inventory. Key rings go into a key rings folder. Holotapes go into a holotape folder. It makes your inventory management a godsend. It's amazing. It's a must-have, having the combo of Valdicil's item sorting. I cannot say that word for the life of me. Def UI and armor and weapons keyword community resource. They all go hand in hand together to make your inventory way more manageable. Bobble Girl, I am playing a female character, and I tried to actually actually make the female look like Vault Girl, so I'm playing as Vault Girl through my playthrough this time. I did play the male for my first playthrough, and I also played the female for my second playthrough. I've decided for my third, I'm going to stick with the female again. I preferred her voice acting over Brian, what was his name? Delaney, was it? I preferred her. I think it was Christina. I can't remember her last name. I preferred her over Brian. Yeah, that's all it comes down to, is who I thought the better voice actor was. And yeah, I think she nails it. In terms of like emotion, I think she has more emotion in her voice lines. Boss chests contain legendaries. I've did a lot of legendary collecting, and I played on very hard on my second playthrough, but after what was it, freaking 400 hours on that playthrough or something, I didn't have that many legendaries, and the legendaries that you get, a lot of them are just throwaways. So I thought this time, you know what, when I clear a dungeon, I want to get a legendary at the end. And this also allows it to, you can set the chance to 50%, 10%, 100, or whatever. It's pretty cool. So now when I get to the end of a boss fight and I beat them and I loot the legendary chest, I get a legendary, and it does make it feel like a completely different game. Just that one little change, you're excited to get to the boss chest, and you know when you found it because you see the legendary. So I set it to 100%. I mean, I've already played the game. I don't mind giving myself some bonuses and extras. So there you go. I'm gonna have more things to play with on this playthrough, and that's the whole point, is upping what I get to experience. Commonwealth vendors stock Nuka-Cola gear. I don't know when I'm gonna get to play Nuka-Cola, but I think it'd be cool to try and get some of the gear in the game. So now the vendors sell it, something simple. Configurable new dialogue English version. I highly recommend this. It actually says what you're gonna say, rather than like sarcasm, you know, whatever. I can't even remember what the 4 choices are. You never kind of know what you're gonna get. It's a roll of the dice. This shows you all 4 sentences, and you really get to understand what your character is going to say and choose what you're going to say before you say it. This is something I cannot go without after trying it. It's great. Easy hacking and easy lockpicking, because frick, I'm just tired of doing that after picking 10,000 locks in my last 2 playthroughs. I'm done with it. Just do it instantly, or at least very, very quickly. With the hacking, it just shows one word on the screen, you pick it, it hacks. With lockpick, you just drive the joystick to the right and it opens it. So very easy, and it's a time saver. If you're on your second or third playthrough like I am, it'll get you to the stuff that you want to experience. I don't need to experience lockpicking and hacking anymore. I'm over it. Far Harbor satellite map, and it goes well with my satellite color world map. Do they have a picture of it? No, not really. And then there's also one for Nuka World. So they give you a satellite map rather than that crappy green and black map that you get. It's real satellite map, and you can see the details on the map. You can see the locations, and if you want to, you can enable where the power armors are and different things like that, where the bobbleheads are. It's pretty darn cool. It makes the game feel so much better. Trust me on that. I'm noticing and finding places that I never found before, because it was just like a black map before, just like cruddy roads and stuff. Now I'm really like, what's that little shack on the map, on that satellite map? And I go there and I'm like, oh, I've never seen this before. So I highly recommend the satellite maps. Mod configuration menu, because sometimes you want to configure your mods. It's just a menu in the start screen. More experience points options 2 times, and I've applied it to crafting. That's just for our Let's Build, so we gain some EXP. More where that came from, Diamond City Radio. It's like 300 songs to the game. This is great for when I'm building my settlements, because I actually have I'm not hearing the same 30 songs over and over again. It was driving me nuts, so now I have a lot more. I hated the Idiot Savant sound, so I took it out. Nuka-Cola collectible quest markers, and that goes with another one that I have, the Collector's Guide. So all these. The Collector's Guide is amazing. It essentially turns all the magazines and bobbleheads and the ones for the Nuka World and Far Harbor into quests. You turn the quest on, or you enable it, and it shows you where all the collectibles are like it was a quest. So you walk, it'll show you a little marker, and you'll go up to it, you pick it up, it says quest complete, it marks it off the checklist, and once you've gotten all the magazines from the Astounding Awesome Tales, it says quest completed, and it closes it out of your quest log. It's absolutely essential for completionists. I highly recommend it. It's phenomenal. Unofficial Fallout 4 patch. Highly recommend this. It just fixes a whole bunch of bugs and things wrong with the game. People have gone in and basically fixed things. It's a must-have for sure. VEP's better weapons. Decide how much caps the vendors should have. And I think I doubled it or something. It's just annoying, like fast traveling from place to place to place to place to sell everything, and then you can go back to doing what you want. So I still have to go to different people. They do run out of caps, but they're not like, I have 500 caps, and you're like, frick, I have $30,000 worth of stuff to sell. It's gonna take me freaking forever. So that's a good one. Settlement Spotlight stuff is mods I'll probably need for doing those. I just downloaded them in case. Haven't installed them. It's just when I need them. My settlements, I've basically already listed all the settlement mods that I use. I've talked about them, to nauseum in all my videos so far. The last one that I did, if you guys see me do the rights in Spotlight, I actually made an official list of all the mods. Actually, you know what? I still have that open. So let's just bring that up and go through them. All right, so scrap everything. This is better visuals for you guys. Scrap everything. It literally allows you to scrap everything, even things like foundation, roads, bushes, anything that you wouldn't be able to scrap before in the game. Little piles of rocks, you could scrap it. It's absolutely essential. Love it. Better settlers. Look at this. They are way better. And that's where all those character mods that you saw me have, like those armor packs and the hair packs, the freckles and all that crap. When you go to download this, it'll say requirements. We need all these things. Better vendor stalls. Remember how crappy the vendor stalls were before? Now they're loaded up with stuff. It only shows up like this and loads them up when someone's at the workshop. There's an option to have it 24/7 where you don't need someone working. I like the immersion factor where they have to be at the shop for it to be loaded up, just so nobody robs them. They take out their wares at the end of the night. So this is a really great one. Adds to the immersion and the detail of your settlements, rather than these just crappy plain boxes that they're standing at. And you're like, what, you sell weapons? You don't even look like you sell weapons. This is, oh wait, yeah, this is the before. That's the after. Look at that difference. Very cool. I mean, quite amazing. So I highly recommend the better vendor stalls. Building materials dispenser. There's a dispenser and it basically gives you any material you want. It's awesome. You can buy them with caps if you want. If you don't want to like break your immersion, they're priced to the same price as vendors, so you can buy steel from there. I use the Pip-Boy version, so all I have to do is open up my inventory, load up the holotape, and there you go. It's so I don't have to run up to the dispenser every time I need something. It's just annoying having to do that. So there is the option to put it into your Pip-Boy. I much prefer that. This is a must-have for me if you are into the building, which here on my channel we are. Business settlements 1.9, absolutely amazing. This is all the details that you guys see me putting in my build so far. This is the first thing I look through upon going into a new build. What's going to be the feel, the vibe, and the detail of this shop? Let's find all the different armor signs that we can find, because we're making an armor shop. If we're making a super duper mart, we get all these signs. Pharmacy, anything that you can think of that's in here. So I sort through it and I find everything themed towards what I'm building, and it adds that immersion factor. Felons, weapons, rooms for rent. You guys saw me use that for our inn. It's a must-have for me. Busy settlers. This is kind of like a navigation one. It's the mats. You put down these mats and they do things. It's as simple as that. You assign someone to a mat and they'll do that. There's tons of different mats. There's also workstations and animation poses. So if you want a prisoner standing there and someone holding a gun in his head, they will do that. You want them dancing, posing, doing whatever, they'll do that. It's quite simple to use, and I highly recommend it. Clothing shelves, it's simple. Self-explained. I'm going to need this for when I make a clothing shop. Great for bedrooms and housing. CWSS Redux. This adds all these showers. I think I showed that to you guys in the last episode. Settlers will actually use it and sandbox with it. So they'll just walk up and start doing dishes, having showers, and there you go. It adds a little bit more immersion to the game, and I quite like it. Do it yourself. One of my most highly recommended mods here. It allows you to build a bunch of shelves with snapping components. All this stuff comes in chunks. So snap the books onto the shelf. You've seen me use it in the Let's Builds. It just boom, boom, boom. It just works. It goes together so quick. It's so easy to decorate stuff. Like, you don't have to place all this stuff one by one. This is a row of hats. Click, dropped it. It's snapped to the shelf. Let's go to this one. Click, snapped it to the shelf. These are 5 components for a whole shelf. Snap, 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 done. Shelf is decorated. boom, and it looks so much better. It's so much faster to decorate. It can get repetitive, but that's why you use it in conjunction with OCD Decorator. If you're doing a lot of shelf stocking or you just want to decorate something quickly, it's good, but don't overuse it because it'll just look the same everywhere. But if you use it right, it really goes a long way. You would use this in conjunction with OCD Decorator and then add the final touches after. Maybe you want a thing of keys on the shelf, you want to add to it, you can do so with OCD Decorator. So there you go. I highly recommend this mod. It's definitely one of the ones I've used the most to decorate with. Easy home builder and working double beds. I don't actually recommend using the beds after further testing. You'll use it from something else. What I do recommend this mod for is rebuilding the houses. As you can see, they are brand new pristine houses, but in my build they were not. But if you want this look and you want to recreate the Sims green grass sanctuary, you can just download a mod that, a weather change, you can change it to summer and it's no longer a wasteland, you have green grass, you put this mod in and boom, you're playing the Sims. Everything is brand new. I downloaded the extra patch file. If we go to the files, there is a post-war texture pack. Download that, install it, and that's how you get what I created in mine. It just replaces all these textures with grungy ones, but you have repaired roofs, you have big kits, and it even comes with a modular set where you can build all the walls yourself and build your own custom house. So it's a very, very fun pack, and I highly recommend it for sanctuary builds. And heck, if you want to make a sanctuary in a different settlement, then now is your chance. Homemaker, this one's really good. However, it comes in a different menu at the very end of the bar. So that means now if you're looking for beds, you got to look for them in two different places. It's a little bit annoying, but I've found with this mod, I'm discovering things that it's game changing. There are things in there that are quite phenomenal. There's also a lot of junk, but like, hey, you want to make a diner? There you go. You wouldn't be able to do that without this mod. The warehouses and stuff, you can get that stuff other places, and it comes with the game by default. There's some weird stuff like snapping these couches together were a little bit funky and strange, and these houses, they look like garbage to me. There's a lot of stuff that comes with this mod that I was like, this is ugly. So at first I actually didn't like it and I kept it uninstalled. I later had to go back to it because I found the doors were good from this pack and they work well with a lot of other mods like Renee's Close That Door mod, and that's an essential one as well. It just makes it so the settlers will close the door. So you need homemaker doors to do that. But there are things in here that you will see in my later builds. If I haven't shown the videos yet, they would be my later builds. I'm not sure if I have. There's some pretty cool stuff like water towers and windmills, all sorts of fun stuff in here. Sometimes you're looking for a diamond in the rough. There's a lot of rough stuff in there that I wasn't too thrilled about, but it does the job. It's pretty darn good. It adds over 1,000 new items to the game. So it's certainly, you got to look through it and figure out what you like. Immersive vendors, this is great. Look at these vendor shops. I use this in my latest build, the weapon shop that I'm working on, and they have one for armor. They just look great, and they stock when you're there, and they unstock when they're not working there. So all this stuff will kind of go off the shelves. It'll be a shell, and then they show up to work and boop, it all appears. So they kind of restock at the pharmacy. I mean, it's great. I really like this mod a lot. It works great in conjunction with the other one I showed off. But this one, it might actually do that itself. You might not need the other one anymore. Oh well, I have them both. Increase build limit, 4K. It does exactly that. You go up to the workshop, there will be an option for you, and it just says upgrade. There you go. You can choose, I think it has up to 30 times, and now you have a gigantic build limit. So I just set mine to 30 and left it. So I feel like I can't see before, after, boom, build to your heart's content. I've done 3 big builds now and I barely made a dent. So, and I could do it again if I need to. So yeah, I highly recommend that one because you're going to need it. But be wary. If the more you build, the more it bogs down your machine. You're never at risk of like crashing your game, I don't think, because my last one I did 5,000 pieces and my game doesn't crash. It just runs at like 30 FPS. So, well, it's like Planet Coaster, you know? Build until your computer cannot handle it anymore. Next is increase settler population. It gives you the option to do 50 times, 100 times. I set mine at 50 for now. It's a great little addition. For sure a must-have. Lore-friendly post posters is another one I recommend. It goes well with those business shops. You can get posters of all the different magazines, like the tattoos, the guns and bullets, the awesome, all the different magazines that are in the game. There are posters versions for, and then it just has like, you know, pinups, all sorts of things, pictures of guns, hot rods, you name it, it's in here. It's all lore friendly, great for decorating your buildings, your houses, and all that stuff, and especially your shops. That's why I got it. Great one. Modular kitchen set. This is probably the best one for if you're going to be decorating houses in Sanctuary. If you don't build houses in Sanctuary, probably not a whole lot of point to it. They are really nice kitchens, and they all snap. They work together really well with do-it-yourself. Do-it-yourself will actually snap things inside of the oven and all sorts of great stuff. So there it all is. And then we have OCD Decorator, probably on the very top of my list, in the top 5 for sure, right next to do-it-yourself. Anything that you can see in the game and pick up in the game, and maybe even some of the stuff you can't pick up, it's in here. Every little knick-knack that you see in all these images, absolutely incredible. Bobbleheads. Now you can place bobbleheads down without worrying about losing the bobblehead you collected. And they all have reasonable resources. Like if you're into the immersion factor, they don't let you just build them for free. If you want to place a Nuka-Cola Quantum, you have to have a Nuka-Cola Quantum. Now this does become a bothersome thing when you're trying to build like me and you haven't collected any of that stuff. So you just go in the console, hit the tilde key to go in the console, type in TGM, which is toggle god mode, and hit enter. That'll basically allow you to build anything without any requirement. So once in a while when I'm not able to build something, I turn on toggle god mode. Now, why don't I use that all the time? I like it to consume my materials, and you do not get EXP while in god mode. So I only use it when I need to. Next up, place everywhere. Probably number 1 on the list of settlement mods. It allows you to place anywhere. No more red, no more can't place here. You can do crazy stuff like this. I mean, oh my god, look at that. It's absolutely phenomenal, and it comes with a whole set of tools. This I probably have to make a tutorial on or a video on explaining in and of itself, because it allows you to toggle snapping, grid snapping. You can work outside of workshop mode without timeouts. You can place everywhere, highlight and select and lock onto a selection so you don't accidentally misclick. And you can move things left, right, up, down, rotate. You name it, you can scale everything. It's the number 1 tool for building. It's a must-have. Don't even build in this game unless you have this. That's how good it is. Plant Me adds plants to the game and planters that are fun. Pretty straightforward. It's nice. Sanctuary Roundup, highly recommend this one if you're going to build in Sanctuary. It cleans up all the garbage and debris. Like, yeah, you can go do that yourself, but you're going to be scrapping things with Scrap Anything for like freaking 5 hours. If you want the scrap and you're good with that, then do it. But it does some other things. There are different patches that you can download that it'll do. You can make it so the roads are absolutely 100% perfect, or you can keep them kind of like broken. I went through with like the clean version, but still post-war and rubbly, and it's just someone went through with a freaking broom and swept it all up and pulled out all the weeds. And the number 1 reason to get this mod is that house. Where was it? This house on the right here, where the 5 main characters are sitting there banging on it with hammers and doing all these stupid animations that drive you nuts. It stops them from doing those animations for good. Goodbye to all that annoying stuff, and it makes those NPCs sandbox properly, because normally they're like, oh, I gotta go work on the house, so they're not doing anything else. Now they're actually walking around doing things because they're not programmed to go do that freaking work on the house animation. I'd get it just for that reason alone. So this is definitely up there for me if you're building in Sanctuary. Settlement Supplies Expanded. This is probably one of my favorite extension mods. I like it more than the Homemaker. Homemaker put all that 1,000+ objects in the game. Settlement Supplies Expanded does the exact same thing. It says 400 or more, but the other one I said had a lot of junk in it. This one has like nothing that I don't like. Everything in this pack I like. Only problem is don't use the doors from here. Use them from other mods or vanilla. Because, yeah, they don't seem to work perfectly with NPCs. Other than that, I haven't had any issues with this mod. It works great, and the best part of all, it adds all this stuff to your vanilla inventory, or your vanilla menu. So all these new chairs, all these new desks are in your desks category, in your chairs category, in your tables category. It's all there with the vanilla stuff. It'll have an M on it for mod, so you can tell the difference between what was vanilla and what is new from this expansion, but it just consolidates everything into a nice, one easy, accessible spot. So I end up using a lot of the stuff from this mod just because it's already there with the things I'm already looking at. It's great. I love this mod. Highly recommend it. Settlement markers, a big one for your navigation. This will allow you to do some pretty cool stuff and give people jobs. That's how I got the shooting range to work on my Minutemen headquarters. If you guys have seen that video yet, but if you haven't, you will. But I did a shooting range just like it shows here, and it's great. You can make people dance. You can do stuff for kids. You can make swimming pools and people will swim. Combat arenas, orphans learn at school. It does a lot of stuff. And then you can give them schedules, and the schedules is the most important because I recommend this mod just for the schedules alone, because you can have a guard working night and a guard working day, and they take turns guarding. You might have to make 2 posts because you can't assign them to the same post, but you can just have 2 posts next to each other. They take turns guarding the left and right posts. So it does a lot of really good things, but I recommend it just for the schedules alone. So it's a must-have for me. Once you've built your settlement, you want your settlers to do things. It's great. Settlers Sandbox expansion. This is really good. It doesn't you don't notice the effect. Like, it's not anything that adds to the game, but it just makes the game better. So it increases the AI's navigation path range. So normally when they walk into a wall or get stuck, or they're just standing behind a bush or doing something ridiculously stupid, they don't do that anymore. They have a wider range of pathing. They know to check multiple locators to move and navigate through objects. It just makes them smarter, guys. Install this. Smarter NPCs. Boom. There you go. The master plan, it's a mod that adds a menu to your menu. So in structures, wooden, at the very end of wooden, you'll find the master plan, and then I used another mod which adds a menu to that menu. So this guy has all these different mods that he's made. All these different mods, even plant me, different things will go into this menu, and you can kind of customize it. So it was something that was a requirement for me. Transfer settlements, that's huge. Once you're done building your base, you could share it with the world. And that's how I shared mine. This is how I download them for spotlights, literally downloads and uploads blueprints, just like Planet Coaster or the Steam Workshop. Nuka-Cola World items unlocked. It gives you the Nuka items early without having to beat it. This is great for settlement building because now you have all these cool Nuka items. And I found some really good stuff in there. It's awesome. Vanilla extensions. Yeah, this is a really good mod, and I think it was part of the master plan. When I installed the master plan and vanilla extensions, I got all this stuff. I use this one actually quite a bit. It adds some really crafty pieces that you don't normally have, and I wish it was loading. But that's how I got the windmill. I put a windmill down in one of my builds. Can I at least tab through here? There you go. You can see the thumbnails. It adds a whole lot of new crafty pieces, like painted wood, windmills, like I said there, some really good fencing, junk fencing. I really like this one. It's a strong build, but it is, again, in its own kind of sub-menu and kind of like annoying to access, but I think it's worth it at the end of the day. Armor tables, up there on my list, huge, right next to do-it-yourself and OCD decorator. It's everything that you could wish for an armor. I'm going to be using this for my armory, 100%. So if you're making an armor shop, this is a must-have mod, for sure. And then that goes hand-in-hand with filled weapon displays. And if you're making a weapon shop, another must-have. Look at all this stuff. It's all done for you. So you just place this down and they snap together vertically and horizontally. So boom, there you go. It's quite a beautiful mod for making shops. I think I've gone through all of them. There were some different ones, like you might want to look closer because there are some things like Covenant walls. It adds better snapping to Covenant walls. I grabbed some different things like some balcony supports added into the game. What else is in here? Improved shack bridges, just added a few more shacks. Looks mirror, I like this one because it adds a mirror to the game that you can craft, and then from there you can customize your character. So if I need to, you could do this with a console command, but it's kind of like nice to be like, hey, I'm going up, just change my hair or something. It'd be good for like a salon or like a tattoo parlor or something like that. Mannequin retexture, you're going to need that for when it's just type in mannequin CBBE. If you use the CBBE mod that I showed you for the body, you're going to need this for the mannequin because the mannequin will adopt that body. Quieter elements, it's a nice little bonus mod. It lowers the sounds of all the generators and turrets and hammering and all that crap. Just makes it quieter. It's nice. Rainier's close that door. Great. It just makes the settlers close the door behind them, and it works really good with Homemaker. Singing Settlers, one I didn't show you. It literally adds a singing pack and a character that you can assign to as a job. They'll work the night shift or the day shift or whatever you assign them to, and they'll go up and sing songs, and they actually lip sync to the song really well. And they'll only, if it's a female that you assign to it, they'll only sing the female songs in the game. If it's a male, they'll only sing the male songs, and it actually works as a entertainer point. So when you make a bar in the game, it attracts people when they're on their breaks and when they're off shift. This will also attract them, so they'll come stand in front of the singer and kind of cheer her on and stuff, him or her. Snappable junk fences, I just added that in because it makes it better. Snappable concrete foundations and wooden foundations. Before you couldn't stack the foundations, this allows you to do that. It's a nice little thing, and that's pretty much it for my mod list. We got through it. Now, I'm probably going to have to do an in-game video when I do my tips and tricks showing you guys basically how I build. I'll probably kind of skim through some of this stuff in game to show you a closer look. But now that I've basically covered it here, but I don't really need to because I showed you the pages and what they do. You get the point. And when I'm doing the Let's Builds, you see me using the armor racks. You see me using the better vendor stalls. You see it all being used, so you know it's in my game and where I'm getting it from. And now you actually know what it's called and where to get it. I mean, if you just type in Singing Settler Fallout 4, it'll immediately show you the Nexus page to download it. So anything you saw in this video, you guys can just pause the video and type it into Google, Fallout 4 Bobble Girl. You will definitely see this pop up right away. And yeah, you can download any of the stuff that I showed you here by using, a combination of Google. There's not enough space in the description to put the links to all these mods, but I will have my recommended mod list for settlements linked in the description, at least the important ones. So yeah, when I do my tips and tricks, I'm basically going to be covering the place anywhere mod or place everywhere, what tricks I'm using to build things and place things, and maybe a few of the mods that I really want to use, and maybe I'll kind of show you guys how the settlement markers works. I'll come up with a few things that I think are essential, so do check in for that video, and we'll let you guys see some of the mods in action. And after this, I'm gonna try making a video or tutorial for body gen. Alright guys, not the most visually entertaining video, I apologize, but I know some of you guys are interested in this. I think it's just good to have it here for you guys to look at and reference to when you're modding your own game. What I have that works, and I can assure you that works and works well, you got to look at it here today. And yeah, there you go. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye now.